I'm going to do a critique on Elon Musk. Now, I don't know a lot about this guy. I don't really care that much, but there's one thing that really pisses me off about him. Look, understand that he's like more than 7 times richer than Donald Trump. So people criticize Donald Trump for being rich. You can't be that rich unless you're corrupt and doing a lot of evil shit. Well, Elon Musk is more than 7 times that. And Mark Zuckerberg is like 20 times that. 20 times richer than Trump. Understand that to get this rich, you don't get that rich through legitimate means. And if you look up what Elon Musk does with his money, he wastes it on stupid shit. He wastes it, and he claims to be politically neutral, and yet he extensively funds the left. He's not who he portrays himself out to be. He's playing popularity games. He's portraying an image of himself to try and stay away from both sides of politics, and then picks controversial topics, especially conspiracy theory topics, to plant conspiracy theories and gain popularity from the conspiracy theory audience. Because people who are critical of people and develop conspiracy theories and stuff, they sometimes get a habit of becoming true, or at least popular. And this is just Elon Musk playing reputation games. That's all he's doing. He's just playing reputation games. He's full of shit. He doesn't believe anything he says. But the big problem I have with him is when it comes to artificial intelligence. He's very critical of artificial intelligence. He thinks that artificial intelligence is going to turn into a Terminator scenario, stupid shit like that. He doesn't know shit all about anything, especially artificial intelligence. He's such a fucking hypocrite. So much I could say about that, this artificial intelligence bullshit. Well, he thinks that artificial intelligence is this massive threat to the world. And all the people who, like me, who are experts in it, apparently we all agree that there's nothing to be concerned about at all. It's also stupid shit out of ignorance. And here's Elon Musk pushing this conspiracy theory that artificial intelligence is going to take over the world and shit like that. And he doesn't know anything about artificial intelligence. He can't argue anything about artificial intelligence. He can't produce a premise for his argument. He can't produce any evidence. He's just full of shit. As for artificial intelligence, look, I pioneered a lot of artificial intelligence today, back in the early 2000s. My artificial intelligence became the framework for things like Siri. And artificial intelligence wouldn't exist today if it wasn't for what I did. And the world's best artificial intelligence experts formed a community based on my work and my anonymous work and my artificial intelligence work. And most of us decided to stop working on it because governments could abuse it. Now, this is where the real threat is, and Elon Musk doesn't understand this. He just makes up conspiracy theories that AI is gonna learn and become self-conscious, and it's gonna sabotage and take over mankind in the dark of night. It's all bullshit. That's just not how AI works. You have to fucking stupid. So, if you don't want to talk about what consciousness is, you can make consciousness in 3 lines of code. First line of code, on the load of the code, you just type define x equals 0. Print line 1, print x, which will print out 0. Line 2, add x plus 1. Line 3, go to line 1. So all you do is you're adding one number and printing it out, adding one number and printing it out. Well, that's actually what consciousness is. That's all consciousness is. It's self feedback loop. You should actually have one line actually to read x plus 1. The way the code will work, it's actually reading it anyway, but it's not. I'm not actually producing the grammar, so you understand it. So it's reading the very output as part of the input. It's self-feeding. That's all consciousness is. But there's no magic to it. It's a stupid shit. So the only real concern with artificial intelligence, this is the only concern, and it is a big concern, but it's nothing to do with Elon Musk and his conspiracy theory audience are talking about. Nothing to do with that. The real threat is that governments are hoarding data. Now, I learned about PRISM, which Edward Snowden went public about. I knew about PRISM in 2002, and it started somewhere late in 2001. Somewhere around or after, during or after 9/11 is about where it started. And I learned about it about 6 months after it started. And I shut down the AI community. Only 2 people were going to continue doing AI, but they promised to keep it real simple and not go into the dangerous areas. Now, the problem was because of PRISM and stuff like that, governments were hoarding massive amounts of data illegally, and on anyone they can in the world, just hoarding it, and they couldn't use this data. They were looking for someone to make an AI for them that will be able to sort through this data and predict people's actions. They'll be able to put you into different categories. You're a potential terrorist threat. You're a potential mugger. 20 years from now, you might be a political threat. This is how a corrupt government can maintain power and control and maintain their corruption by using artificial intelligence to monitor and predict and use the information in a database, in a massive illegal database, to augmentate their ability to deal with people. And that's not an advanced concept, and people like me, and especially me, some of the AI stuff we did would have been easily able to modify to do that purpose. So we stopped. So that's the only threat of AI. AI is never going to just take over the world and kill all humans and enslave all humans and stupid shit like that. The only time AI would ever do that is if you specifically coded to do that. Now, this desire to enslave and even self-preservation, all this stuff is built into human nature, because humans evolved this disposition that all life has. One of the most important is simply survival, because those that don't survive die out, and only those who have a drive to survive. The same with reproduction. If you don't reproduce, you die. So only those who heavily steer towards reproduction survive. They're the ones that survive. This is evolution. This is biological evolution due to mammalian and reptilian type of evolutions. And this is stuff that a lot of this served mankind in a hostile environment earlier in evolution, but it doesn't work so well today. It's more of a hindrance today. And so these are factors in why a human would do what they do. There's genetic drift when it comes to humans too. Most AI wouldn't have that problem. But these desires to enslave and mass murder and genocide and stuff like that, this comes from a fucked up corruption of human evolution. This has nothing to do with AI. AI doesn't have the same disposition as a human does. AI operates on logic and whatever disposition you give it, by defining what values it operates under, which is generally just logic. You can introduce new values, but you have to work really hard to be able to build those values into it. Now, something that hasn't been done before is evolutionary AI, where you can rapidly, through a lot of really high-end hardware, evolve an AI out of a simple line of code, just as you would evolve a human from a simple line of genetic code evolving. You can rapidly evolve it over time, and you can develop some quirky dispositions in AI that way, and it takes a lot of work to do. But like anyone who does that shit, they know they're doing it. There's no, it can't happen by accident. And even if AI, someone was to make AI like that, it will always be at a disadvantage. The only benefit, the only advantage AI really has is that it's sacrificial and easily self-replicatable. AI makes good sacrificial puppets. It will never have the unpredictability as a human intelligence or a biological intelligence. It just doesn't work that way, because biological intelligence has many factors involved, and even then you can another biological entity can predict another biological entity's behavior, even despite that unpredictability. So how much more so is AI predictable? I could talk about AI for hours, but understand that Elon Musk doesn't know shit all about AI. Everything he says, it goes against what I say, and it goes against what every other AI expert says. That there's no concern about AI. This is all shit you see in the movies. That's all it is. It's shit you see in the movies. Conspiracy theory, fantasy bullshit that you see in the movies. And Elon Musk is promoting this shit to pretend that he's some kind of expert, to pretend that he cares for mankind, and that he pretend to be one of the good guys, and he's not one of the good guys. He's not one of the good guys at all. He's just playing the media. That's all he's doing. So I could say a lot about Elon Musk, but I just wanted to cover the topic of artificial intelligence, because that's the really big thing. Obviously, look, he's filthy rich. He's got more than 7 times more money than Trump. Ponder how he got that money. Legitimate people don't get that rich. That's not how things work. And he could be using that money to make the world a better place. But no, what is he doing? He's lobbying for the left. And he's blowing his money on little stunts and shit in the name of humour. This guy's an asshole. He's not one of the good guys. And he's not who he portrays himself out to be. And he's not an expert on AI. And neither is Mark Zuckerberg. So I've seen a thing where he's tried to talk to Mark Zuckerberg about AI. Neither of them know about AI, and they both think they're an expert on AI. None of them know shit all about AI. What Facebook are doing with AI, is the dangerous shit. Is using facial recognition and predictive AI to predict what you're going to do and stuff like that. That's the shit. That's the reason why people like me, the real experts in AI, stopped working on AI because it could be exploited by governments and even corporations, which are really essentially the same thing. But Mark Zuckerberg doesn't know shit all about AI, and neither does Elon Musk. They are all completely full of shit. You'll never see them actually debate any details on artificial intelligence. They just make these wild claims, and sometimes people will actually call them up on it and say, but all these actual experts, they're saying a different story. And all Elon Musk and those like him will say is, they're arrogant. They're smart, they know what they're doing, but they could be wrong. What if they're wrong? Big conspiracy theory there. That's what, just plain stupid psychological games, primitive psychological games. Pretending to be one of the good guys and pretending he cares for mankind and shit like that. Full of shit. So, realise that this main topic that Elon Musk talks about, popularizes himself over, which is artificial intelligence, is completely full of shit, and he doesn't know shit. He doesn't know anything about artificial intelligence, and he will never argue any case. At most, he may potentially just copy and paste a few one-liner statements that people who work on AI have said, but he won't understand them. And these aren't his own arguments. He's just copying. He's parroting what other people say, and he doesn't even do that. But he may potentially do that when pushed on it. But he won't be able to debate or make an argument over this. Go look at any time he's talking about AI. He can't actually ever explain why AI is such a problem. It's just full of shit. So, as for the matter of AI, now I've mentioned the problem of the real threat of AI, which is only a short-term threat. Once governments are sorted out and shit, it won't be a problem. But that's the only real problem of AI. AI is a good thing. It's just one problem that it can be used for, and it's not the same problem that he's promoting. It's the kind of shit that Facebook are doing today. And that's got nothing to do with AI taking control. This has got to do with humans exploiting AI to steal as much personal information on you as you can and sell it for those who can manipulate you and try and control you. So the AI itself is just doing its job. The AI isn't the problem. It's the people using the AI. This isn't a robot. This isn't a self-aware robot who's going around doing some evil shit. No, this is a remote control where someone's controlling the robot with a controller. That's not the same thing. So anyway, I realise that Elon Musk is completely full of shit when it comes to AI. He doesn't really know much about anything. All he knows to do is just be a scheming con artist who makes obscene amounts of money through illegitimate means. And just remember, Donald Trump has $3 billion of assets. Elon Musk has $22.6 billion. Something like 7 times, I think it's a bit over 7 times richer than Donald Trump. So if people are going to criticize Donald Trump, then criticize Elon Musk all the more. Donald Trump says controversial and true things. Elon Musk tries to pretend that he's a neutral party, a reasoned, wise party. And he's not. He's completely full of shit.